Glad to have you here, and we are talking all about what you are going to be seeing for your Boxing Day. Are you heading out? Are you going shopping? Well, if you're in Atlantic Canada, specifically Newfoundland, maybe online shopping would be the best way to go, because this low pressure system we saw bring snow for Ontario, ice pellets, freezing rain, snow for the Maritimes, will bring that snow and rain mix for Newfoundland, and then it will stall out and continue to bring more sea effect snow for the Great North Peninsula, 10 to 25 locally, but in some areas, because it's stalling out, you could get upwards of 50 centimeters throughout the next few days. And as well to the south, we are getting into the rain. Now let's look at these gusts. In a moment's time, we'll go outside, but I want to show you this. 102 kilometers per hour around that Halifax region, but lay sweat and wreck house winds exceeding that 130 kilometer per hour mark is possible throughout our overnight. Let's go outside. Blue skies live here currently. The temperature forecast will follow what we usually see when those low pressure systems move on by. It's ushering in that cool air, and it's that Arctic polar air. And for Ontario, well, we're going to start to see that as well. You're going to notice you're going to want to put an extra layer on the bed at night. And these are the totals we saw unofficial as of Monday afternoon for your Christmas. Of course, we had a white Christmas guaranteed towards the south, and you might still see that snow coming for you up towards Georgian Bay, the Huron shores. If you're traveling along 26 or 21, be careful, because that blowing snow with gusts 50 to 70 kilometers per hour with snow already in place is a real factor of safety. Taking you to the prairies, wind chills, can you believe it? Feeling like minus 45, feeling like minus 50. At that point, it's just darn cold and you want to go inside, but the problem here is that it's here to stay for quite a long time. This is locked in. So you'll see in your 7-day forecast is right around the corner. That's going to be part of your weather story. And for the west, well, we got into that white Christmas for Victoria. It's been since 2008, but that 2 centimeters was there, and a light dusting. High pressure in place now, but we will see the next one come on by into Thursday and into Friday. These have been your Weather Network headlines. Well, the Maritimes is pretty much out of the woods when it comes to this low pressure system that continues to track to the east as of Tuesday pre-dawn. But we're still seeing on the backside of this some of that mixing, and it will continue to move to the east. For Newfoundland, for your Boxing Day, you'll see sea effect snow for sure, and the potential for mixing rain towards the south for the Avalon. And as it moves off, it'll stall. And that'll continue to bring those cool conditions in for Atlantic Canada, and there it is, stalled out and bringing in a multi-day sea effect system as well. You can see up to 50 centimeters with this because it is multi-day and the accumulation will be there. Let's take you outside to Windsor, Ontario, where yesterday and through your Christmas day, past this cold front. Do you see all these bands? Well, lake effect is setting up quite nicely, westerly flow in place, and behind the cold front, well, temperatures are certainly going to take a dive as well. And let's talk about that temperature story, because it's all thanks to this. The purple moving in, it's Arctic air, and it's going to be locked in place because of what's happening up near the North Pole. And that means that it's not going anywhere anytime soon, and it's the same story in through the prairies as well. We're going to take you through your local forecasts wherever you are, and you'll see the way that a lot of us Canadians around the country, well, we will be below seasonal. Great to have you along with us. You probably have the shovels still out and ready if you are in Eastern Canada. In Ontario included in that too. Even though this low pressure system continues to move, we'll talk about the squalls in just a moment's time, but taking you into Newfoundland, where the big part of the story lies for your Boxing Day, we've got freezing rain and strong winds. We'll also take you into Ontario, where the lake effect is going to cause troubles for your commute. And taking you into those commutes, you can tell right away that a lot of the highways, if you live near the snow belt, will be affected. And we'll talk about commuter tips in just a moment's time as well, but we're also going to be talking about the cold, the frigid cold that has been plaguing the prairies. Now let's get back to those commuter tips. What can you do? Watch. We always love getting your viewer video, and with this low pressure system, we certainly got a lot from all of you in Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much. And we saw freezing rain, ice pellets, snow, and rain. Of course, it continues to move to the east, and behind it, bringing in very cool conditions. Sea effect snow will be a big part of your weather story if you are in Newfoundland or along the Great North Peninsula, and even 50 centimeters of accumulation is possible because of the rounds that we will see through the next few days. Well, behind that low in Ontario, Lake effect is the story. Those westerly winds are in place, but they're not quite aligned. They're meandering back and forth between Huron and Georgian Bay, so that means widespread snow throughout these areas. And the cold, it will be a big part of the story as well. That Arctic cold is being brought on in, and it's keeping all of this to stay. Let's take you outside. Just this goes away. Tony, thanks for sending that in. Well, you're probably not going to be getting outside to snowshoe if you're in the prairies, because wind chills could feel like -45, -50. All that air is drifting southward. And when you have gusts just around that 20 to 30 mark, it's enough to take that warm air off of your skin. So a wind chill will make us feel even cooler than that. Cold is what I should use in this case. High pressure is back in place for BC, and you might see some disturbances, but for all of that information, you're in the right place, because it's time for your local forecast. Hope all was merry and bright for you, but for some it wasn't bright in the sky. And look at that. That's a low pressure system we saw over Ontario, dumping all that snow, passing through the St. Lawrence, and continues to bring Atlantic Canada a mixed bag of precipitation. Amanda Weldon along with you, and we're talking through the storm that continues to be part of our Canadian weather story. Newfoundland, you are up to bat, because freezing rain, ice pellets, rain, snow, all in the mix for you on the back end of that low. The sea effect snow will be in place. It's going to stall around Labrador. Now we'll take you to Ontario too, because the snow is not over. The song Let It Know, I think my parents were like, no, let's not let it snow. But it could still be part of our story if you are around the snowbelt region, because lake effect snow is a big part of this story. To the north, I hope you have a lot of leftovers so that you don't have to leave the house to go to the grocery store, because the accumulation, the enhancement is there. And you might not want to leave the house to go to the grocery store in the prairies either, because the cold is there. And we put the word dangerous in here because the wind chills, well, look at this. They could feel around 45, feel around -50 throughout the next few days. And this is here to stay. This is here for a long time, because we do have that polar flow quite consistent moving on in. We did get that little splash of snow for our Christmas morning anyways, and that's easing on off. But what if you have more snow? There is a danger behind shoveling it. Let's check out more in Health and Weather.